Welcome back to Life Experiences with Dr. Amanda. Today, I want to take the time to speak to the young women, that being my own daughters, young women, teenagers, women who are unmarried. I just want to take some time to speak to you young women. So I'm going to call this a letter to my daughters, meaning all of you, a letter to my daughters. And so being that it says a letter, I've written down some things that I think will be helpful to you in hearing and encouraging to you, especially during this time when, a lot of us seem like we're alone, even when we're not alone, but we feel that loneliness. And so I'm going to be reading quite a bit of this because it is just that. It is a letter that I penned from my heart to what I would like to say to young women, even to my own daughters. So one of the things my mom used to say to me and other older women, they would say, I've been where you're trying to go. I now understand that they did not necessarily mean they had experienced everything I was going through, but they did understand what it meant to be a young lady with like desires as mine. I had a conversation a few days ago with a young lady concerning the desire to be married and sexual desires. So I want to speak a few minutes in a practical and spiritual sense about relationships, especially sexual relationships. From as young as 10 years old, I can remember noticing boys and wanting them to like me. And then moving on to my teenage years, I continued to want boys to like me, but I also felt like I was in competition with girls who were my age based on our body shape, how pretty our faces were, length and texture of hair, etc. I liked my own body shape and size and began trying to accentuate certain areas because God seemed to look at other girls who accentuated those areas. I did not realize it at the time, but I had developed a bad and wrong understanding about male and female relationships. So what I say to you, my daughters, and I say this in love, most of us desire a person in our lives to have companionship with and who will love us. Yes, there is this desire to kiss, get physically close, have sex, etc. But most of us women, young ladies, do not seek a guy to be in our lives just for the sole purpose of physical gratification. We want someone we can be with forever. Because you want someone to love you, do not be willing to give up your self-respect, your morals, your convictions. If your action feels wrong, upsetting, discomforting, and embarrassing the first time, most likely it is wrong for you whether you are a Christian or not, and there will be consequences. Of all the boys and men I have had relationships with in my life, I can honestly say my husband is the one who I was able to share my desires of the kind of man I wanted in my life, and he lived up to those expectations. One of my expectations when I was saved and when I was unsaved was not to have sex before marriage, and he respected that. And we made that commitment to one another. So ladies, respect yourselves. Reputations are hard to repair. Living with a man or engaging in wifely duties with a man prior to marriage are hard on your mental, emotional, financial, and physical state during and after it's over. And it is really difficult to be a good example to your own children that you currently have or will have in the future when in those situations. What I just talked about are just practical truths. And to sum it up spiritually, Ephesians 5:3 says, but fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becoming saints. So I love you, ladies. I love you, my daughters. Let's respect ourselves. Let's respect ourselves. Next time, I want to talk about fighting without a cause. So please subscribe to the channel, invite others to join, and continue to trust in the Lord and stay blessed in Him.